old silence lived a girl named Arya. She was as kind as the morning sun and as gentle as a spring breeze. But her stepfamily, the stepmother and her two daughters, Helga and Petra, were not kind at all. They made her do all the work, from dawn until dusk. Wash the floors, the stepmother would demand. Polish the silver, Helga would shout. And don't forget the garden, Petra would add, giggling. One day, while weeding the overgrown garden, Arya felt a tear roll down her cheek. She missed her own family and wished for just one moment of peace. As her tear fell to the ground, it landed on a thorny, forgotten rose bush. Suddenly, a single bud on the bush began to glow with a soft, warm light. The bud unfurled into a perfect, shimmering rose. From its center, a tiny, radiant fairy with wings like starlight emerged. "My name is Lumina," she whispered. "This rose is a magical compass," Lumina explained. "It blooms for those with the kindest hearts. It led me to you, Arya." Arya told Lumina all about the upcoming royal festival. "I wish I could go," she said, "but I have nothing to wear, and my stepfamily would never allow it." Lumina smiled. "A kind heart is all the invitation you need," she said. "Close your eyes and think of the most beautiful dress you can imagine." Arya closed her eyes, and as she did, Lumina waved her hand. A swirl of light and color enveloped Arya. When Arya opened her eyes, she was wearing a gown woven from moonlight and starlight, and on her feet were slippers that sparkled like dewdrops. "The magic will last until the last petal of the rose falls," Lumina warned. "You must be home before then." With a final wink, the fairy disappeared. Arya hurried to the festival. The air was filled with music and laughter, and the palace was lit up like 1,000 stars. Prince Corin, who was tired of the loud crowds, spotted Arya standing by herself. Her quiet grace and gentle smile caught his eye. He walked down to her and offered his hand. "Would you care to dance?" he asked. Arya's heart fluttered, and she took his hand. They danced under the twinkling lights and talked for hours. Prince Corin was enchanted by her kindness and her stories of the garden. As the night wore on, Arya felt a tug of worry. She looked at her wrist, where a tiny, magical rose had appeared. A single petal fell. "I must go," she said, her voice filled with panic. She thanked the prince and ran out of the palace, leaving him confused and alone. Just as she reached her garden gate, the last petal of the rose fell. The magical dress and slippers disappeared, leaving her in her simple, worn clothes. The next day, Prince Corin searched the kingdom for the girl with the kind heart. He asked everyone he met, "Have you seen a girl with a gentle smile and stories of a magical garden?" His search led him to Arya's house. The stepmother and her daughters, Helga and Petra, greeted him with false smiles, but he knew they were not the one he sought. He saw Arya in the garden, tending to the rose bush. He walked over to her. "It was you," he said, his voice full of relief. As he spoke, the thorny rose bush began to glow again. A new bud appeared and unfurled into a perfect, shimmering rose, more beautiful than the last. Arya looked at her stepfamily, who watched from the window. She felt no anger, only a wish for their hearts to be as full as hers. She smiled and waved to them. Prince Corin and Arya were married, and they lived in the palace, but they always returned to the garden to tend to the magical rosebush. And in their kindness, they found their happily ever after.